Hey, I am going to talk a little bit in this video about some of the neurobiology behind what happens when we create art and what happens when we view art or when we look at or listen to or experience art. And when I say art, I mean it could be drawing, painting, sculptures. It could also be music. It could also be reading something that's written, a poem, a novel, anything that is a form of creative expression that's considered part of the arts has the same or similar effects on our neurobiology. So there's this concept of neuroplasticity, which essentially means that our brain cells, our neurons, have the ability to forge connections and also to break connections and forge new connections. So this is really, really helpful when we're talking about something like trauma, where we can understand that when we experience a traumatic event, our neurons forge very strong connections because it is considered a salient event. It is an event that has a lot of energy and emotion behind it. So just to take a pause and talk a little bit about saliency. Saliency essentially is something that our brain deems important. So throughout the day, if you think about just, walking down the sidewalk, all of the different sensory experiences that are involved in walking down the sidewalk, not even down the sidewalk, from your house to your mailbox, going from my house to my mailbox, my skin feels the breeze, the temperature shift from my air condition to the very warm outside. I hear the leaves rustling, I hear the birds, I hear a car driving by. I might smell the grass that was just cut. I might hear a dog barking in the background. I feel the ground beneath my feet. Usually I'm running out to the mailbox with no shoes on, so I feel the rough, gravel of the driveway or the soft grass of cool grass under my feet. So all of these different sensory experiences, and that's just a couple of them. In order to not go crazy or be overly stimulated on a constant basis, our brains have evolved to determine what is important and what can I just kind of let fade into the background. So something that is salient is what our brain deems as important. All the other stuff fades into the background until it becomes more important. So when we're talking about having an experience with art, whether that's creating something yourself, or you go to a museum and you're sitting and you're looking at a big painting with lots of color and lots of energy and emotion behind it, or maybe you're at a concert and you're starting to get chills and the music is just moving you. Those are salient experiences. Our brain recognizes those, forms new neural pathways based around those, and stores that as memory. The really great thing about this idea of neuroplasticity is through working with your therapist, we can make the traumatic memories or experiences less salient as we start to process them and uncover them. And part of the repair process is enriching your world, enriching your life with more positive, salient experiences. And again, creating your own art can be in itself a salient experience. Something that gives a lot of energy behind forging these new neural pathways is something that has a lot of emotion or energy behind it. So when you're, processing something, a wound, and an emotional event that happened, like whatever it is that you're like, oh my God, I have to call my therapist. I have to go, like, I have to tell Jen about this in session. Those kind of things, when we process them through a creative arts expressive means, it's not only, letting us work through it, it's also giving you a whole new experience with whatever the event is that you're processing. And ideally, it's a more positive or healing or enriching experience. So, hope that's helpful.